Second Chronicles 29. YHWH began to reign when he was 25 years old, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Abiyahu, the daughter of Zachariah. And he did that which was right in the sight of Yahuwah, according to all that David his father had done. He, in the first year of his reign, in the first month, openeth the doors of the house of Yahuwah, and repaired them. And he brought in the priests and the Leviim, and gathered them together into the east street, and said unto them, Hear me, ye Leviim, sanctify now yourselves, and sanctifieth the house of Yahuwah Elohai of your fathers, and carry forth the filthiness out of the holy place. For our fathers have transgressed, and done that which was evil in the eyes of Yahuwah Eloheinu, and have forsaken him, and have turned away their faces from the habitation of Yahuwah, and turned their backs. Also, they have shut up the doors of the porch, and put out the lamps, and have not burned incense, nor offered burnt offerings in the holy place unto the Elohim of Yasharel. Wherefore the wrath of Yahuwah was upon Yehudah and Jerusalem, and he has delivered them to trouble, to astonishment, and to hissing, as you see with your eyes. For lo, our fathers have fallen by the sword, and our sons and our daughters and our women are in captivity for this. Now it is in my heart to cut a covenant with Yahuwah Elohim of Yasharel, that his fierce wrath may turn away from us. My sons, be not now negligent, for Yahuwah has chosen you to stand before him, to serve him, and that ye should minister unto him, and burn incense. Then the Leviim arose, Machath the son of Amasai, and Yoel the son of Azaryahu, of the sons of the Kohathim, and of the sons of Meri, Kish the son of Abdi, and Aviyahu the son of Yahalalel, and of Gerushonim, Yoach the son of Zimmah, and Eden the son of Yoach, and of the sons of Elitzaphan, Shimri, and Yael, and of the sons of Akaf, Zachariahu, and Mattanyahu, and of the sons of Haman, Yahikiel, and Shimei, and of the sons of Yeduthun, Shemayahu, and Uziel. And they gathered their brethren, and sanctified themselves, and came, according to the commandment of the king, by the words of Yahuwah, to cleanse the house of Yahuwah. And the priest went into the inner part of the house of Yahuwah to cleanse it, and brought out all the uncleanness that they found in the temple of Yahuwah into the court of the house of Yahuwah. And the Leviim took it, to carry it out abroad into the brook Kidron. Now they began on the first day of the first month to sanctify, and on the 8th day of the month came they to the porch of Yahuwah. So they sanctified the house of Yahuwah in 8 days, and in the 16th day of the first month they made an end. Then they went into Yehizkiyahu the king, and said, We have cleaned all the house of Yahuwah, and the altar of burnt offering, with all the vessels thereof, and the showbread table, and with all the vessels thereof. Moreover, all the vessels which King Achaz in his reign did cast away in his transgression, we have prepared and sanctified, and behold, they are before the altar of Yahuwah. Then Yehizkiyahu the king rose early, and gathered the rulers of the city, and went up to the house of Yahuwah. And they brought 7 bullocks, and 7 rams, and 7 lambs, and 7 he-goats, for a sin offering for the kingdom, and for the sanctuary, and for Yahudah. And he commanded the priests, the sons of Aharon, to offer them on the altar of Yahuwah. So they killed the bullocks, and the priests received the blood, and sprinkled it on the altar. Likewise, when they had killed the rams, they sprinkled the blood upon the altar. They killed also the lambs, and they sprinkled the blood on the altar. And they brought forth the he-goats for the sin offering before the king and the assembly, and they laid their hands upon them. And the priests killed them, and they made reconciliation as with their blood upon the altar, to make an atonement for all Yisrael. For the king commanded that the burnt offering and the sin offering should be made for all Yisrael. And he setteth the Leviim in the house of Yahuwah with cymbals, with psalteries, and with harps, according to the commandment of David and of God, the king's seer, and Nathan the prophet. For so was the commandment of Yahuwah by his prophets. And the Leviim stood with the instruments of David, and the priest with the trumpets. And YHWH commanded to offer the burnt offering upon the altar, and when the burnt offering began, the song of Yahuwah began also with the trumpets, and with the instruments ordained by David the king of Yasharel. And all the assembly worshipped, and the singers sang, and the trumpeters sounded, and all this continued until the burnt offering was finished. And when they had made an end of offering, the king and all that were present with him bowed themselves and worshipped. Moreover, YHWH, the king, and the princes commanded the Leviim to sing praise unto Yahuwah with the words of David and of Akaf the seer. And they sang praises with gladness, and they bowed their heads and worshipped. Then YHWH answered and said, Now ye have consecrated yourselves unto Yahuwah. Come near and bring sacrifices and thank offerings unto the house of Yahuwah. And the assembly brought in sacrifices and thank offerings, as many as were of a free heart, burnt offerings. And the number of the burnt offerings which the assembly brought was 70 bullocks, 100 rams, and 200 lambs. All these were for the burnt offerings to Yahuwah. And the consecrated things were 600 oxen and 3,000 sheep. But the priests were too few, so that they could not play with all the burnt offerings. Wherefore their brethren, the Leviim, did help them, till the work was ended, and until the other priests had sanctified themselves. For the Leviim were more upright in heart to sanctify themselves than the priests. And also the burnt offerings were in abundance, with the fat of the peace offerings, and the drink offerings for every burnt offering. So the service of the house of Yahuwah was set in order. And YHWH rejoiced, and all the people, that Elohim had prepared the people, for the thing was done suddenly.